Hello and welcome back to Sister Wives Crew, your #1 source for deep dive analysis into the Brown family saga. What you're about to hear isn't just another recap. It's a forensic investigation, an expose we're calling Case File 33, the Great Coyote Pass Land Swindle. The premise is as simple as it is shocking. The $820,000 purchase of Coyote Pass was never about building a family compound. It was the largest and most audacious financial heist in the Brown family's history, a sophisticated, multi-year scheme masterminded by Kody and Robyn Brown. They allegedly used the pooled life savings of all 4 wives to acquire what would ultimately become a massive private estate for themselves. Through manipulation of deeds, exploitation of family trust, and careful engineering of their financial endgame, Kody and Robyn positioned themselves to hold the most valuable, paid-off land, while Mary, Yanel, and Christine were left with broken promises, emotional bankruptcy, and nearly worthless plots of dirt. This is the story of how Kody and Robyn legally outmaneuvered the others and walked away with an estimated $500,000 in equity that had once belonged to their sister wives. To truly understand how the swindle worked, we have to start with the foundation it was built on, something known as the family pot. It was the Browns' shared financial system and the heart of their operation. For years, the family followed a principle based on their Apostolic United Brethren roots called surplus accounting. In simple terms, every dollar earned by every adult went into a single account, the family pot. All expenses were paid from that same pool. Every mortgage, bill, grocery run, and investment came out of that shared fund. The system worked only because of trust. Yanel, with her solid career in accounting, was one of the family's financial powerhouses. Christine contributed through her jobs and the enormous social capital she brought from the TLC show. Mary had been working the longest, investing decades of labor and faith into that communal system. When Robyn joined the family, she arrived burdened with debt from her previous marriage, debt that was paid off using that same collective pot of money. At the center of it all was Kody, the self-appointed head of the household, controlling and directing the flow of funds. The system depended entirely on his honesty and fairness. The moment that trust broke down, it created the perfect conditions for financial abuse. And when the family decided to move from Las Vegas to Flagstaff, that vulnerability was fully exposed. In Las Vegas, the Browns had reached an unprecedented level of stability. Each wife owned her own home in a shared cul-de-sac, 4 separate houses, 4 deeds, for legally protected assets. The family pot paid the mortgages, but the ownership structure meant each wife had a tangible piece of financial security. If the family fell apart, those homes were individual safety nets. Then came Kody and Robyn's push to relocate. The reasons changed depending on the day, escaping the Vegas heat, feeling spiritually called to a new environment, wanting to be closer to Robyn's son Dayton, who was attending college in Flagstaff. But when viewed through the lens of this investigation, that move looks far less innocent. It forced the family to sell off their 4 most valuable assets, those Vegas homes. The sales generated nearly $2 million in combined equity. Once the homes were sold, the proceeds were poured back into the family pot, dissolving individual ownership and concentrating control once again in Kody's hands. In a single stroke, the wives gave up their personal financial safety nets in exchange for a vague dream, building a united family compound in Arizona. What they didn't realize was that this move positioned Kody and Robyn perfectly to execute their plan. The Coyote Pass property, purchased for $820,000, was sold to the family as a blank canvas, a place where they could build 4 homes and finally live together in harmony. But when you look past the sentimental narrative and analyze it like a financial crime scene, a very different story emerges. The land was divided into 4 main parcels, each with very different levels of value and strategic importance. Parcels 1 and 2 were earmarked for Kody and Robyn. They were the crown jewels, the largest lots, sitting on elevated ground with panoramic mountain views and direct road access. Development would be easier, faster, and more cost-effective. From these prime parcels, Kody and Robyn could literally look down on the rest of the property. It was their dream estate, disguised as part of a family project. Parcel 3 was assigned to Mary. This lot was the keystone, valuable, beautifully wooded, and positioned directly adjacent to Kody's. Controlling Mary's land meant Kody and Robyn could merge it with their own, creating a massive, continuous estate that dominated the entire property. In the context of their alleged plan, acquiring Mary's parcel wasn't optional, it was essential. Parcel 4, designated for Christine, was more modest. It had decent access and fair views, enough to maintain the illusion of equality. Christine, who was outspoken and influential, needed to feel included, so her lot served as a symbolic gesture of fairness. But in the bigger picture, it was expendable, a placeholder to keep her cooperative while Kody and Robyn consolidated control. Parcel 5 was Yanel's. By every measure, it was the least desirable of the group. A significant portion lay in a designated floodplain, making development expensive and complicated. Building there would require costly engineering and drainage solutions. It was effectively the family's least valuable piece of land, yet Yanel was led to believe it was her equal share in the dream. One by one, the wives were persuaded to trade years of financial independence for empty promises of shared ownership. In reality, they were funding Kody and Robyn's private empire. The so-called family compound was never meant to be a plural paradise, it was a smokescreen. Every financial move, every reassigned deed, every emotional plea served one goal: to concentrate power, wealth, and land in the hands of two people. And when the dust settled, that's exactly what happened. Kody and Robyn walked away with the prime real estate, paid off, protected, and positioned for long-term value. The others were left holding plots they could neither afford to develop nor easily sell. This wasn't just a story of failed dreams or family drama. It was, in every practical sense, a financial coup. A slow, methodical transfer of wealth executed under the guise of unity and paid for with the trust and sacrifice of the women who built the family from the ground up.
The final phase of the plan is about to begin, and based on the patterns we've seen, we can now predict with a high degree of confidence what comes next. Soon, perhaps within the next season or two of the show, Kody and Robyn will suddenly find the unity, the motivation, and the financial means to finally break ground on Coyote Pass. Cameras will roll as construction begins, and the narrative will be spun as a story of perseverance and rebirth. But this won't be just any home. It will be the culmination of years of strategic maneuvering. What will rise on that land will not be a modest family cabin or a simple dwelling. It will be the mansion Robyn has envisioned since the move to Flagstaff, a sprawling, luxurious home built on the highest point of their combined, fully paid-for parcels. It will boast sweeping, panoramic views of the San Francisco peaks, a vantage point both literal and symbolic. The show will frame it as a triumph, a fresh start for the Brown family, a reward for their struggles. But beneath that narrative lies a different reality. That home will stand as a monument to the Coyote Pass swindle. Every beam, every brick, every inch of its foundation will carry the weight of what was taken. Its base will be poured over the shattered dreams of the other wives. The frame will rise on the financial remnants of Christine's sold home. The roof will be paid for with years of Yanel's labor and sacrifice. And from its porch, where Kody and Robyn will sit and look out over the property, they will gaze upon the land that once belonged to Mary, the final piece of ground that completed their empire. When that house is finished, it will not mark a new beginning for the Brown family. It will mark the end, the victory lap for a years-long heist that began with trust and ended in betrayal. The story of the great Coyote Pass land swindle is not just one of money or real estate. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of blind faith and unchecked authority. It exposes how love, loyalty, and spiritual devotion can be weaponized in the hands of those who value control more than connection. What happened here was not an accident or a misunderstanding. The evidence, public records, financial filings, and even the family's own words on national television, tells a clear and devastating story. It was deliberate, it was systematic, and it was successful. The collective wealth of a plural family was quietly funneled into the hands of two people under the guise of shared destiny. For those following this investigation, your work matters. Keep digging. Examine the records. Compare the timelines. Share your findings. The truth is in plain sight, hidden between the lines of the show and buried in the paperwork. Use the hashtag #CoyotePassSwindle and help ensure that the full story is told, that the manipulation, the financial abuse, and the betrayal at the heart of this saga are never forgotten.